In a quiet corner of the city, nestled among houses with neat little gardens, lived a baby named Leo. Leo's world was a symphony of soft blankets, colorful toys, and the loving smiles of his parents. From his cozy spot by the living room window, he watched the world go by with wide, curious eyes. Leaves danced in the wind, birds flitted from branch to branch, and people walked their dogs. It was a peaceful, predictable world. But just beyond the garden gate, another world existed, one that was far from peaceful. In this world lived a stray cat, a creature of shadows and silence. We'll call him Ginger. For the streaks of orange in his otherwise dusty, gray coat, Ginger's life was a constant struggle. He was born on the streets and knew nothing but hunger, cold, and the fear of humans. Every slammed door, every loud voice, every fast-moving car sent him scurrying into the nearest dark corner. It was lonely, perpetually on guard, and his heart had never known a gentle touch. He watched the warm, well-lit houses from a distance, a silent observer of a life he could never be part of. Leo's days followed a simple rhythm: wake, eat, play, nap, and during his playtime, his favorite spot was always the big window that overlooked the front yard. One sunny afternoon, while gumming his favorite squeaky giraffe, Leo saw something new, a flash of gray and orange, darting under the big oak tree. It was Ginger, who had found a temporary hiding spot from a passing mail truck. From that day on, Leo started noticing the shy, elusive cat. He'd see him in the mornings, a fleeting shadow near the garbage bins. He'd spot him in the afternoons, sleeping in a patch of sun under a neighbor's car. To everyone else, Ginger was just another stray, easily ignored. But to Leo, he was a mystery. A silent, furry neighbor who seemed to appear and disappear like magic. Leo would press his tiny hands against the cool glass, his eyes following Ginger's every move. He didn't understand why the kitty always looked so scared or why he always ran away. He just knew he wanted to get a closer look. One warm afternoon, Leo's mom left the patio door open to let in the fresh air. She was in the kitchen, just a few feet away, keeping a watchful eye. For Leo, this was a golden opportunity. He had been tracking Ginger, who was cautiously sniffing at a fallen leaf near the porch. With the determination only a baby on a mission can have, Leo began to crawl. It was a slow, wobbly journey across the living room rug, over the threshold, and onto the cool stone of the patio. He made little gurgling sounds, his own version of a friendly greeting. Ginger's head snapped up, his ears flattened, and his body tensed. A human, and a very small, very loud one at that. His first instinct was to bolt back to why, his eyes wide with fear, ready to disappear into the bushes. Leo stopped, his hands flat on the ground. He tilted his head, a confused look on his face. Why was his new friend running away? He didn't move any further. He just sat there, watching the scared cat, and then he did something unexpected. He smiled. A big, gummy, drooly, baby smile. This pattern continued for weeks. Every time Leo was outside, he tried to get a little closer to Ginger. And every time, Ginger would retreat, but maybe not quite as far as before. He started to realize this tiny human wasn't like the big ones. It didn't shout or try to chase him. It just sat. And sometimes, it would roll a colorful ball that would stop a few feet away from him. He never touched the ball, but he watched it. The breakthrough came on a perfectly ordinary Tuesday. Leo was playing on a soft blanket in the backyard, while his dad was weeding the garden nearby. Leo, fascinated by a ladybug crawling on the edge of the blanket, began to shuffle towards it. In his single-minded pursuit, he didn't notice he was inching closer and closer to his dad's small gardening fork, its sharp tines pointing upwards from the grass. From his usual spot under the hedge, Ginger saw everything. He saw the baby, oblivious to the danger. He saw the sharp, shiny object. A primal, protective instinct he never knew he had surged through him. In a flash of gray and orange fur, he darted out from his hiding place. He didn't run to the baby. He ran straight to the fork and batted it with his paw, knocking it flat against the grass. He then let out a sharp, loud meow, a sound he rarely made. Leo's dad turned around, startled by the noise. He saw the cat, the overturned fork, and his son, just inches away from it. His heart leaped into his throat. He scooped Leo up, his mind racing as he understood what had just happened. Ginger, his job done, had already vanished back into the bushes, his own heart pounding, not from fear but from a strange new adrenaline. After that day, everything changed. Leo's parents, who had previously shooed the stray cat away, now saw him in a new light. They started leaving a small bowl of food and a saucer of fresh water on the back porch. At first, Ginger was suspicious. He'd wait until the dead of night to approach the food, sniffing it cautiously before taking a few quick bites and running off. But hunger and a budding sense of trust won out. He started coming earlier while the sky was still dusky pink. Leo would watch him from the window, and sometimes their eyes would meet. There was no fear in Ginger's eyes anymore, just a quiet curiosity. One evening, as Leo's mom was setting the bowl down, Ginger didn't run. He sat a few feet away, waited patiently until she went back inside, and then began to eat. It was a silent agreement, a treaty of peace. Slowly, the porch became Ginger's territory. He'd nap there in the sun, no longer feeling the need to hide. Leo would sit on the other side of the glass door, the two of them just enjoying each other's company. The first time Ginger allowed Leo's mom to stroke his back, he flinched, but he didn't run. He arched his back into her hand, and for the first time in his life, he purred. The sound was rusty and uncertain at first, like an old engine struggling to start, but it was there. Before long, Ginger wasn't a street cat anymore. He was just Ginger. He had a home. He'd follow Leo around the garden like a fluffy, four-legged shadow. He'd nap at the foot of Leo's crib, a silent guardian in the night. He'd sit on the rug, patiently allowing the baby to pat his fur with clumsy, gentle hands. He was no longer the scared, lonely creature hiding in the shadows. He was a member of the family. Their bond was a language all its own, spoken in soft purrs, happy gurgles, and the quiet comfort of shared presence. Leo, the curious baby, and Ginger, the once lonely cat, had found each other. They had built a bridge of trust across the divide that separates humans and animals. A bridge built with patience, kindness, and one brave act of protection. Their story is a beautiful reminder that family isn't always about blood. It's about who you let into your heart. It shows us that even the most frightened and lonely souls can be healed by a little bit of kindness, and that a simple, open heart like that of a baby can create the most profound and unexpected friendships. The quiet street wasn't just home to a happy family anymore. It was home to a happy family and their very brave, very loved cats. Thanks for watching our story today. If it touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more heartwarming content. We'll see you next time.